Canberra winters can get pretty cold. Let's play some Ice Rider Calyrex, maybe that'll help. Welcome back everyone to more from the Sableyes. I'm Mitch and today we're going to take a look at our first VMAX from Chilling Reign. It is one of the cover stars, Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. An incredibly cool card that's got some really interesting text that play with it. So we're going to jump across to PTCGO now and check out the deck list. So let's take a look at the list. It's pretty convoluted, but there's some cool stuff in here, so just bear with me. We'll start off with the title card, the main card that we're focusing on, which is Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. We've got two really cool attacks with this particular Pokemon that are both very, very good in the current metagame. The first one, for 2 colorless energy, it is Ride of the High King, which is probably the best attack name that I've seen in the Pokemon trading card game for quite a while. It deals 10 damage, plus 30 more for every Pokemon on your opponent's bench. So, with a full bench, you'll be dealing 160 damage, which is going to half hit almost every 3 prize Pokemon in the game. We've also got a good second attack for 2 water energy. We have Max Lance, which again deals 10 damage, but this time we can discard up to 2 energy from our Pokemon, from our active Pokemon that we're attacking with, and for each of the energy that we discard, we deal 120 damage. So, this means that this attack, Max Lance, can get to 250 damage if we discard 2 energy, which is pretty solid. It's going to take knockouts on things like Pikachu and Zekrom. It's going to take knockouts on things like Gengar and Mimikyu, which is going to be very relevant. And it also gets pretty close to knocking out a bunch of VMAXs and the other tag teams as well. But it's going to miss just by a little bit. So we've got another cool card that's going to help us out with that, which is the brand new Inteleon from Chilling Reign with Quick Shooting. Quick Shooting means we place 2 damage counters on one of our opponent's Pokemon, and this can get us that little bit closer to taking the knockouts that we need to win some games. You'll probably see this Inteleon quite a lot because it is very, very powerful. And it does synchronize quite well with the shady dealings Drizzile and Inteleon that came out in Sword and Shield. Both of these, Drizzile and Inteleon, allow us to search for trainer cards. Drizzile searches for 1, Inteleon searches for 2, so they're very, very useful to help find our consistency pieces. Now, what pieces might that be, you ask? Well, the brand new supporter, Melanie from Chilling Reign, is a fantastic way for us to accelerate water energy to our Ice Rider Calyrex. What we do is we discard the water energy at some point earlier in the game and then use Melanie to attach it to one of our V Pokemon in play and then draw 3 cards, very reminiscent of Welder. And it means that you can discard energy with Ice Rider Calyrex's attack and then get them straight back with Melanie. I almost said Welder. One thing to note is in the bottom left-hand corner of this card, there is a little metal symbol that lots of people are afraid of. Zacian hits this Pokemon for weakness, so there is that little bit of a problem. That is why in this list I have got 2 copies of Victini VMAX with the Max Victory attack. It's a very good attacker just in general, but it is going to cover the weakness quite nicely. And if you haven't already noticed, the Melanie that is in this deck can attach water energy to the Victini. It is not a type-specific requirement, so we can get that Victini powered up with Melanie, plus a fire energy, and start attacking if we need to. Alrighty, so let's play some games with this thing. It's very, very cool. If you like it, then make sure you like the video as well. That would be fantastic. We've got an energy attachment. We've got a quick ball. We can get rid of the Melanie. We don't need that this early, and we can find ourselves a Sobble. And that's pretty much all that we need to do. We'll leave it at that. And if you like the deck list enough that you want to play it yourself, it is down in the description. You can copy it from the description and put it straight into PTCGO. Just import it. You'll be able to get those cards immediately onto your deck, which would be fantastic. You still need to trade for them, of course. That is one of the issues with new cards coming out, is that you do need to find them. But luckily, I have been able to get quite a few good cards. And I'd like to thank Pokemon specifically, because Pokemon sent me through quite a lot of locked codes, which was fantastic. Really helped me boost up the amount of cards that I had in the early game. So I really appreciate that. Being able to get these cards early is, well, not early, but, you know, make it a little bit easier for me to get them means that I'm more likely to make good decks sooner, which is what we're all about here. Now, our opponent's playing Rapid Strike Urshifu. They're playing the Minccino version. So they're going to be drawing a lot of cards. They're going to bring the Sobble into the active, which I'm not disappointed with, but it's annoying. We've got the air balloon in hand. Our opponent doesn't look like they've done too much, so we're looking good. We've got another Calyrex. We've got a Drizzile, which is fantastic. We could use this to get ourselves a Evolution Incense if we'd like to try and get ourselves our attacker. Or we could just grab another Level Ball. I think that's... I think the Pokemon might actually be better here, because we can combo away the Dedenne, and then we can choose what we want. So we can save that Dedenne for later. I'm thinking that grabbing the Ice Rider Calyrex seems like a good idea. We are, after all, looking at the video for Ice Rider. And as long as we draw an energy here, we should be pretty solid. And we've got one, which is really, really good. We can now Quick Ball, just doing some consistency stuff now, thin out some cards, grab ourselves another Sobble. We've got an Inteleon in our hand as well, which is fantastic. We can retreat into our Ice Rider and then Ride of the High King for 100 damage. Take the knockout and be on our way. So yeah, one of the strengths of this card is that you can half hit consistently for cheap damage, for cheap energy cost, which is always good. Cards that can do that are usually very, very strong. And we do have a potential one-shot option as well, which is also very good. So like we could hit into a VMAX without a full bench and provide us that extra little bit of damage that we need to get across the line to knock out with Max Lance. The other thing that's really, really good is that we can, if they've got a full bench, we can just keep hitting with Ride of the High King, and then we can use the Inteleon to eventually deal the extra little bits of damage that we need to take the knockout. So it is definitely a really, really cool attacker. I know that there are lots of lists floating around the moment that are just playing the Ice Rider Calyrex, which is perfectly fine. I like those as well. There's like a Path to the Peak version as well, I think, that turns off abilities of Rulebox Pokemon, which is pretty cool. I'll try and explore some of those a little bit later. What I'm doing with the cards that are really top tier cards, like this one, I'm going to try... Oh my goodness, we've just found another Ice Rider Calyrex V. That's really good. Let's play down the Inteleon. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and build some more interesting versions of these decks now, and then once the metagame has been a little bit more established, then I will talk about the incredibly good versions of the deck. Mainly because I don't want to be sitting here telling you that this is the way to play Ice Rider Calyrex, because it's not. It's just a way. We'll play the Drizzile down, and let's go... What are we going to get here? I've just kind of played this without even thinking about it. I don't know. Quick Ball seems fine. Yeah, let's just Quick Ball. We can get rid of the Victini. We don't need that here. Let's just get another Sobble, so that next turn, if we find a Drizzile, we can just do the exact same thing that we just did then. That's fine. We're going to use the Quick Shooting ability. We'll use that. I'm going to ping... Where I'm going to put this damage... Put it on the active. I could put it on the Minccino as well. I kind of like the idea of the Minccino. Let's put it back there, because that way if we get a couple of extra little attackers, that'd be great. Then I'm going to Max Lance. We're going to discard both of these energies and do 250, which is very, very nice. Yes, as I was saying, I don't want to be like, these are the definitive best ways to play these decks, because that's not what this is about. This is just about seeing the cards in action and deciding whether you think they're cool or not. But yeah, I definitely will down the line look at these decks once they've been a little bit more developed, so that I can go, this is the best way to play this deck in my experience. So that'll probably be a few weeks away, because there's still a lot of content to look at. But I just wanted to let you know that if you're seeing these brand new cards, they may be paired with some interesting stuff. They might not be the best list straight out the gate, but I will do my very best. That is all that I can do. And also, thank you everyone who voted in the poll. This is me showing off Inteleon, right? Inteleon came out in this set. This was the second most liked card. What am I talking about? The card that people were second most excited for, which is really, really good. So I'm going to try and show that off. They elected to use G-Max Rapid Flow there to knock out the Sobble and the Drizzile, which is quite frustrating, but it's fine because I've got Melanie. So I'm just going to attach a Water Energy from the discard pile to the Calyrex, and then I'm going to attach to the active, I suppose, and then we'll just Air Balloon and retreat. Actually, what I should have done is I should have attached to the benched one. Probably would have been better. That's okay. Let's... Rider the High King's going to do 367. I think we need an extra 20 on the Urshifu, so we'll ping that there. And then we'll Rider the High King. We get to keep our energy. Why would we discard them when we don't need to? Grabbing 3 prizes. We have the boss in hand as well for next turn. We're about to beat Urshifu VMAX, I reckon. We're going to Max Lance into that Dedenne on the bench if we're given the chance to, and that is going to be our route to victory, which I'm very excited by. But yeah, so I've got heaps planned, by the way. So just down below in the comments, comment the thing that you are most excited about for this set. I know Shadow Rider Calyrex is going to be a card that lots of people want to see, but every channel has covered that. So if you want to see that, then you can go and watch them. I will talk about it a little bit later. In fact, I think I've got a video coming out soon, I think. But it's okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to... My brain is struggling here. I will potentially do that. Also, let me know what other stuff you want me to do. If you want me to do something that isn't covering just a deck profile. If you want me to do, like, tier lists of quality or how to build stuff. I've actually been thinking that I should do, like, a how to build a deck. Like, how to build a semi-competitive deck kind of video. That could be interesting. Looks like we've won the game here. We're just going to be able to boss... Knockout, actually, yeah, let's go for the Dedenne. We can max Lance here and deal a ton of damage. So Dedenne, we discard both of the water energies and do 250, which is more than enough for a knockout. That is beautifully done. I like this card quite a lot. I'm going to continue my train of thought in the next one. So we're starting off with Victini now, which is going to be very interesting because we've got that different aspect of the game that we're looking at. We'll quick ball away an energy and grab, I think, a Sobble. We do have that Evo Incense in our hand. I'm going to attach the energy to the Victini just in case, and then we're going to pass. What was I saying? I was saying something, I think. Oh yes, I was talking about what kind of videos you might like to see. So, I was thinking of asking another content creator to do a bit of a collab video where we build a deck and then use it. So like, we build a deck on their channel as like a how to build video, and then I play the deck on the channel. And then I build a deck with them on this channel, and then they play the deck on their channel. I was thinking about doing that, but I don't know who I should do that with, because otherwise we're just like building decks and doing stuff. It would probably need to be someone that's not normally a PTCGO kind of person. So like not 100% PTCGO. So you can't, like, you couldn't pick up someone like, yeah, I don't know. Very strange. We'll figure something out. Just let it be known that there are ideas percolating in my brain. Alrighty, what are we looking for here? We've got a Victini with 1 water energy on it. We've got an Evo Incense. So we could potentially take a knockout on a V if they play one down. We don't see any Vs though. It looks like they're just going to Flare Starter. And they're going to accelerate to that Mewtwo. So we probably need to get a Calyrex down, I would say. Let's go for the Evo Incense. We're going to grab Drizzile, I think. Drizzile seems perfectly acceptable here. We will then grab a trainer card. I think Energy Spinner seems smart because we can use Flare Shot to knock out this Volcanion, which I'm big on. So we'll use Energy Spinner. That Energy Spinner will find us a Fire Energy, and then we can play Professor's Research and hopefully draw into another V card, preferably a Shadow Rider. Now we don't, not a Shadow Rider, an Ice Rider. Now we don't find one, but we do find a Pokemon Communication, which is fantastic. We will calm that away, grab ourselves a Calyrex. We now have an attacker. We have an attack for this turn, which is going to be Flare Shot. We have an energy in hand. We have Evo Incense to grab the VMAX. And we have Melanie in our hand. So as long as our hand remains the same, we should be in a fantastic spot. But I've said that before. I fully expect Marnie to happen. It's just one of those things when you're playing PTCGO. You're like, wow, what a hand I've got, and then it goes. So I'm not gonna get attached to it. I'm just gonna relax. I'm just gonna sit back and relax, and I'm just gonna it doesn't really bother me. If you Marnie me or not, it doesn't really bother me. You can play whatever supporter you want. You know, it's fine. Boss's orders. Well, that wasn't what I wanted you to do. That's actually incredibly frustrating. I wanted to attack with this. You're going to be able to knock me out. You're going to use Reshizan to knock me out. Well, they didn't use Marnie. Alrighty. What do we do now? I mean, we could attack again with Victini if we find a water energy. A fire energy, sorry. Got a Sobble. We can quick ball away the Dedenne. We don't need that. Let's grab another Calyrex. We're just going to wait until next turn. We'll leave that there. We will Melanie. I'm going to attach an energy to this Calyrex. And then we're going to attach a second energy. And I'm going to, I think we just hold this hand. We'll stamp them to 4. Just to make sure that they don't boss that Calyrex again. Because that'd be annoying, to say the very least. And we will also use Evo Incense. We'll grab ourselves our quick shooting Inteleon and put that into play and start pounding this Mewtwo and Mew with quick shooting, because we will need to reduce its HP substantially so that we can knock out with Ice Rider Calyrex in the future. So we'll do 250, which with an extra 20 is a knockout without the big charm, but there is a big charm, so we're going to need to hit it twice more with our quick shooting Inteleon. So a bit sad. We have to wait an extra turn to attack with Calyrex now, which is just a shame, frankly. It's just a red hot shame. Quick Ball is the choice for our opponent. They're going to grab an Eldegoss. We're going to get bossed again. They're going to boss us. They're going to boss us. They're going to knock out. No, stop doing these things. Boss the Calyrex. Dedenne. Well, at least they need to find, like, double switch, right? To get a knockout with the Flare Strike. This video was going to be so good, and then they just double boss me. Oh, my goodness. We attacked with the Victini V. It was perfect. Everything worked perfectly. Welder. What are they going to weld it to, I wonder? Well, they can't weld it because they bossed. Cherish Ball, they've already detonated. But they're going to miss a switch. Please tell me that they missed a switch. Please. Please tell me they missed a switch. They're not playing like a person who has a switch. But then again, they might just have... Oh, they don't have it. Okay. Just everyone settle down. Everyone just settle down. We can get the level ball. We can grab ourselves the Drizzile. Fantastic. We're going to play that down. We are going to search for a trainer card. Yes, I would be silly not to. We are going to... I was kind of hoping that we had an Evo Incense left, but we don't. So we might just need to use Professor's Research. That might be worth doing. Maybe we just grab a Com or something. Maybe we just grab a Level Ball. Maybe we just grab a Quick Ball. It's not ideal. But it's okay. We can be fine. Let's Quick Ball. We'll get rid of the Air Balloon. We can grab the Sobble. Seems fine. Then we can attach the Fire Energy to the Victini, and then we can Marnie. And it's all going to work out. We've found the Calyrex, and we've found the Victini VMAX as well. Okay, so this is looking good. Means that both of our main attackers are powered up. Well, not powered up, but they're not knockoutable by this Mewtwo, which is fabulous. Then we can quick shooting. We'll deal that extra damage to the Mewtwo now, because we need to knock that out later. And then, I think we can just ride of the High King. Bang. Okay, this is fine. 160 damage for 2 energies. Just so efficient. So good. So very, very good. Alright, so next turn we can knock out the Mewtwo with the Big Charm. We can Max Lance it for knockout. We can also knock out this Mewtwo, unless they put a Big Charm on it, right? So we can knock out this Mewtwo with a single snipe from quick shooting, and then the Max Lance. We have the energy for the Victini VMAX, which is really, really good. Hopefully we can get a Gust at some point in the next couple of turns to try and knock out that Eldegoss, which would be equally fantastic. So we'll just wait and see what our opponent does. If they knock out our Calyrex in one shot, we could be in trouble, but they're just Flare Striking. So we've been given an opportunity here. All we need to do now is not screw the pooch. So let's quick shooting onto the active. 250 HP left. Let's Pokemon away the Ice Rider Calyrex. We're going to grab a... What are we going to grab? The Drizzile, maybe? Just to give us an extra out to another Inteleon, perhaps. We can also do some more thinning here, which would be fantastic. I like the idea of Viridian Forest, just to reduce the amount of energy that they can search for. I can also potentially discard some more water energy, which is probably not a bad idea, but we can just research here. We don't really care too much. We've got the boss, we've got the Inteleon for next turn. We are looking good. Let's Max Lance. We're going to discard both of the energies here. We're going to deal 250 damage and knock out this Mewtwo, and then we're going to be one prize away from winning the game, which we can take with our Victini VMAX, because our opponent still has 4 prizes remaining. So as long as our hand stays the same, we win the game. I should get that printed on a shirt, as long as our hand stays the same. Good grief. But yeah, it's a really, really cool deck and a really cool concept. I think that it's got a lot of strength to it. I don't know how I feel about the Victini just yet. I feel like it might be a stronger deck with just Path of the Peak, but you never know with these kind of things. Anything could happen. I do rank it pretty highly, though. It does seem like it is going to be an incredibly good deck. So we'll just have to we'll have to just wait and see, won't we? We'll just have to wait and see. Now, our opponent can get rid of the Eldegoss with a float up, but that wouldn't have dealt enough damage, so they decided to Crushing Punch, and now our hand has remained the same. Victini into the active, we can Boss's Orders out that Eldegoss, and we'll take our last prize. Look at that, we got Boss off at the top, so even if we had been Marnied, we still would have been able to max victory for a victory. Ice Rider Calyrex with Victini is pretty solid. So we've seen the deck in action, but how good is it really? To be honest, this is probably one of the better decks going around at the moment. I don't know if the Victini version is the way to play it, but the Ice Rider Calyrex is a very good attacker. This is a B grade for playability, but to be honest, it probably could be an A. Consistency-wise, it does work incredibly well. That Inteleon line gives this deck quite a lot of spark in the early, mid, and late game, which is fantastic. Value-wise, I've given this one a B. It's an expensive card, but it's not as expensive as the Shadow Rider, but you do get a lot of play out of it. This card will be a meta-relevant card for the entire time that it is out, as long as you are willing to put in the extra investment early on. And fun-wise, I think this is probably one of the most fun decks that I've played in a while. There's a lot going on, but when it all works perfectly, and when you get those Inteleons streaming, you get your attackers going, this deck is a lot of fun. I've given it an A-. Alright, so this is a good deck. There's definitely ways to improve it. I don't think that, like I said, I don't think this is the perfect list, but it's definitely a good place to start, and I would 100% recommend giving it a try if you're testing out some meta decks for this particular format. So that's it, a wrap on another video. Thank you very much for coming past, and a special thank you to all of my channel members. There they are. There they are. Thank you very much. Dadbot, Azazel, Fernando, Yolo, Stephen Ty, Agent Abel, I'm losing the plot here, Austin, Josiah, Lift of Our Robsy, Brad Chings, Brad, Justin, Croco, Taku Gaming, and special thanks to Aaron Vermeer for becoming a Mega Sableye. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for chucking in a buck. Costs less than $3 Australian to support the channel, and it helps me get more cards so that we can play more Pokemon, which is the key. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming along. I appreciate it, as always, and I will see you next time for more from the Sableyes. Bye.